Okay, we're going to start outcome 2 then. Now, outcome 2 is all about algebra. And the first topic we're going to look at within algebra is indices. Okay, indices are a way of writing a number that's times by itself lots of times in a short way. For example, a to the power of n is a times a times a, where a is multiplied n times. So if we had a to the power of 3, it would be a times a times a. A to the power of 4 would be a times a times a times a, and so on. When we're doing this, our number here, or our letter here, is called the base, and the n is called the index, and plural of that is indices. The index is quite often called the power as well. So that's where the name indices is coming from, because it's talking about working with these powers. Okay, a few different rules for working with indices. We're going to go through a few of them, practice them all as well. First one is when you multiply indices, you add the powers. So if you do a to the m times a to the n, that's equal to a to the m plus n. Okay, to prove this one to you, if I've got a squared, that's a times a, and I'm timesing that by a cubed, that's a times a times a. All together, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get a to the power of 5, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Now it always works out this way, so we can just use the rule of adding the powers. Let's do some examples then. We've got 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4. Now the 2 is the base stays the same. We then add the powers, so 3 add 4 is 7. So we get 2 to the power of 7. X is the base, it just stays as an x. We've got 3 and a 5 for our powers, we add them together. 3 add 5 is 8. A to the power of 7 times a to the power of 4. A is the base, it just stays the same. 7 add 4 is 11. It's a wee bit trickier if we put some numbers in front, so like 2a to the power of 7 times 5a to the power of 4, but we can just multiply the numbers as normal. Numbers are always treated the exact same way as they always have been. We don't change numbers just because we suddenly put the powers in. You can think about this as 2 times 5 times a to the 7 times a to the 4 if it helps. It doesn't matter what order you multiply in, and 2a to the 7 just means 2 times a to the 7. So I always do this by looking at my numbers first. I'm doing 2 times 5, which is 10. Don't get into the habit of adding these. They're still numbers, they're still just multiplied. Base stays the same, it's still an a. Add the powers. 7 add 4 is 11. Try some more like that. 3x to the 5 times 7x squared. So 3 times 7 is 21. Our base is x, it stays as x. 5 add 2 is 7. 21x to the power of 7. Now we need to be able to deal with negatives as well. Still follows the same rule, we just need to be able to deal with negative numbers. So 4 times 5, 20. Our base is m. Do negative 3, add 8. So imagine you're £3 overdrawn, you put £8 into your bank, you'd end up with £5 in your bank, so we get 20m to the power of 5. Number 7, we've got 6x to the power of 9 times 7x to the minus 4. 6 times 7 is 42, my base is x. 9 add minus 4 is the same as 9 take away 4. 9 take away 4 gives me 5. Okay, some for you to practice then. So I've put question 1 and 2. This is from your booklet. I will get you the page number. I've not put the answers in here yet, but I will get the answers to you, maybe just on a separate sheet. Okay, so that's rule 1. You probably want to pause there and practice some of these before you move on. I'm going to keep going and go over rule 2. Now rule 2 is the opposite of rule 1. When you multiply, you add. When you do the opposite of multiplying, when you divide, you subtract. Okay, so we're doing 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 3. Base stays the same. Instead of adding this time, we take away 5, take away 3, gives me 2. X to the 7 divided by x to the 4. 7 take away 4 is 3. So it'll be x to the power of 3. M to the 8 divided by m to the 5. 8 take away 5, 3. We get m to the power of 3. Number 4, if it's written as a fraction like this, it is just the same thing as dividing. So x to the 5 over x to the 3. 5 take away 3 would be 2. We get x squared. Number 5, adding some numbers in. So we've got 12x to the power of 5 divided by 2x cubed. Again, deal with your numbers first. 12 divided by 2, 6, base is x. 5 take away 3 is 2. So we get 6x squared. Number 6, putting some negatives in as well now. 15 divided by 3 is 5. My base is a. I'm doing 5 take away negative 3. It might be a while since some of you have done some negative numbers like this. If you need a wee video reminder of some negative numbers, just let me know. You're taking away a negative, it's the same as adding, so 5 take away negative 3 is 8. Okay, I'll leave you to try number 3, and I'll pause there actually.